Joey Wheeler, the underdog with a heart of gold. Few duelists have so spectacularly made the climb from zero to hero like this Brooklyn beauty. Though unseen since the events of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, we know that he continued to climb the ranks of world-class duelists, gaining the respect of fans and professionals everywhere. So today, we're going to be taking a look at an upgraded deck profile for this fan favorite set during the events of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, exploring what cards he might have been using while Jaden Yuki and company were flunking their way through Duel School. Now in the original anime, Joey had a rather inconsistent deck lineup, consisting mostly of random warriors, beast warriors, and beast-type monsters, with cards that he won from other players becoming the most memorable units in his collection. And no monster typifies this better than his signature Red Eyes Black Dragon, won during his first duel against regional finalist Rex Raptor. This card quickly became Joey's ace monster, and so we'll say that he began to flush out support for this creature as he became more proficient with the game. So we'll start by saying that he added the Black Stone of Legend to his deck, which actually looks like a red stone to me, but whatever. I've always taken this to be a petrified Red Eyes Black Dragon egg that has suddenly been revived and is ready to hatch, especially given the red eggs seen in the card art for Black Dragon's chick, the hatchling version of Red Eyes. This adorable monster card was originally printed as Red Eyes Black Chick, though its name was errated in its 2016 reprinting. Whatever you want to call it though, we'll say that Joey picked up a copy somewhere down the line. Presumably this creature grows up into Red Eyes Baby Dragon, a slightly older version of the monster. All three of these cards have effects that allow you to special summon Red Eyes Black Dragon or Red Eyes monsters, with the Baby Dragon version also having the ability to power up a Red Eyes monster that it's equipped to. Red Eyes Wyvern and Red Eyes Retro Dragon both appear to be entirely different members of the Red Eyes family. Wyvern can be banished from the graveyard to summon a different Red Eyes monster back from the grave, while Retro Dragon can be tributed to make a second normal summon in a turn for another Red Eyes monster, and it can be special summoned from the hand if a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster on the field is destroyed. Black Metal Dragon is a useful support card that can be equipped to a Red Eyes monster, boosting its attack points. Also, when it's sent to the grave, Joey can add a Red Eyes card from his deck to his hand. There are also a couple of upgraded forms of the original Red Eyes Black Dragon to consider as well. Red Eyes Alternative Black Dragon and Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon. Alternative must be summoned by tributing an original Red Eyes from the hand or field. When it's destroyed, Joey can special summon a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster from the graveyard. If it's the original Red Eyes Black Dragon, its attack points double, essentially meaning that the monster that was sacrificed in order to bring out Alternative comes back even stronger when Alternative is destroyed. Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon is a Gemini monster, meaning that it's a normal monster until it's summoned a second time while it's already on the field. After its second summoning, it gains the effect where the user can simply inflict its original 2400 attack points as damage to the opponent during battle calculations. And then there's the oldest dragon in the Red Eyes archetype, Red Eyes Darkness Dragon, which must be summoned by tributing an original Red Eyes Black Dragon on the field. However, despite having the same stats, this monster is far more powerful. It gains 300 attack points for every dragon in the owner's grave, which would likely make this one of Joey's strongest boss monsters. However, there's also an upgraded version of this card, Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, which is summoned by banishing any face-up dragon monster on the user's side of the field. Each turn, Darkness Metal Dragon allows the user to special summon a dragon-type monster from the graveyard, which would allow Joey to swarm the field with dragons when combined with his normal summon each turn. Now over the years, there have been some cards that have come out that have been associated with Joey or Red Eyes Black Dragon that didn't actually belong to the Red Eyes archetype, with three examples being the Summoned Skull, Meteor Dragon, and Gearfried the Iron Knight. Since their original releases, however, all three of these monsters have received upgraded Red Eyes forms, with those being Red Eyes Archfiend of Lightning, Meteor Dragon Red Eyes Impact, and Gearfried the Red Eyes Iron Knight. Red Eyes Archfiend of Lightning is another Gemini monster, who can destroy all face-up monsters Joey's opponent controls with defense points lower than this monster's attack points once it's had its second summoning. Meteor Dragon Red Eyes Impact is also a Gemini creature, whose second summoning ability protects all other Red Eyes monsters on the field from being destroyed by battle or card effects. Gearfried, the Red Eyes Iron Knight, can sacrifice an equip-type spell card in order to destroy spell or trap cards the opponent controls, or in order to summon a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster from the graveyard. And to finish out the Red Eyes monsters in this deck, we have Paladin of Dark Dragon, a level 4 ritual monster whose effect activates when it attacks a defense position monster, automatically destroying that monster in the process. Its second ability allows it to be tributed in order to special summon a Red Eyes monster from the hand or deck. Keeper of Dragon Magic isn't technically a Red Eyes card, and would serve equally well in one of Kaiba's Blue Eyes decks, or any of several other fusion-centric profiles. Its effect allows Joey to discard a card in order to add either Polymerization or a fusion spell card in the deck to the hand. Joey can also use it to reveal a monster in the fusion deck, because this is still the era of fusion decks, and special summon one of the materials from the graveyard in set position. The only drawback is that you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except fusion monsters if you do either of these other effects. Which is kind of a non-issue in this hypothetical time period, so yeah, whatever. Moving on to some classic Joey monsters that aren't Red Eyes related, we have Baby Dragon, Time Wizard, Blue Flame Swordsman, Rocket Warrior, and Copycat, all of whom saw extensive play during the Duel Monsters era. However, we're going to say that Bouncing Baby Dragon grew up and is now 100 Dragon, a monster who becomes more powerful for each card Joey controls, and who can protect one of his fusion monsters from being destroyed. They grow up so fast. And last but not least, we have a secondary boss monster, the first card Joey won during the Battle City tournament, Jinzo, a monster who saw wide competitive play in the real world for its ability to disrupt all traps on the field. Some would argue that this was the best card in Joey's deck during Duel Monsters, and I'd be one of them. But that does it for our monster cards. Moving right along to spell cards, we have some support for the Red Eyes Black Dragon, cards like Inferno Fire Blast, Red Eyes Insight, and Cards of the Red Stone. The first deals 2,400 points of damage to the opponent's life points if Joey has Red Eyes on the field, essentially allowing his dragon to make a direct attack. The second card allows him to discard a Red Eyes monster from the hand or deck to the graveyard in order to add a Red Eyes spell or trap to the hand. Cards of the Red Stone allows Joey to discard a level 7 Red Eyes monster in order to draw 2 cards, and then, optionally, to send another level 7 Red Eyes from the deck to the graveyard. When Joey decides it's time to bring out the old fusion dance, we have Red Eyes Fusion, which summons a monster that lists a Red Eyes monster as fusion material by using monsters from the hand, deck, or graveyard as that material. Once summoned, the new monster renames itself Red Eyes Black Dragon while it's on the field. And just in case he needs to bring out any non-Red Eyes fusion units, we're going to include good old Polymerization. Dark Dragon Ritual is the ritual spell card used to summon Paladin of Dark Dragon, so we'll need to include it if we want to include that monster in Joey's deck. We've also got some classic Joey spells like Giant Trunade, which returns all spells and traps on the field to the owner's hand, and Scapegoat, which summons 4 sheep tokens to Joey's side of the field. And we all know that Joey is a bit of a gambling man, so we'll say hello to some old favorites like Roulette Spider, which allows Joey to roll a die and has a different effect depending on the result, and Graceful Dice, which also rolls a die and adds the result times 100 to one of his monster's attack points. It's not quite as good as the anime version of the card, where it would just straight up multiply his monster's attack points by the result. I mean, good lord, imagine rolling a 6 on Red Eyes. Anywho, along similar lines, we're also going to include Summon Dice, which can give Joey an extra normal summon, special summon a monster from the graveyard, or special summon a high-level monster without tributing, depending on the roll of that die. And that'll do it for spell cards. Moving on to traps, we'll finish out discussing Joey's gambling addiction with Skull Dice, which is Graceful Dice's opposite half, lowering an opponent's attack strength rather than boosting his own. And then there's also Fairy Box, which reduces an attacking monster's attack points to 0 if Joey correctly calls the result of a coin toss. There are also several traps that act as direct Red Eyes support, such as Red Eyes Spirit, Red Eyes Burn, and Return of the Red Eyes. Spirit allows Joey to special summon a Red Eyes monster from the grave. Burn can be used when a Red Eyes monster is destroyed. Both players take damage equal to its attack points. And Return of the Red Eyes is a continuous trap that allows Joey to summon a normal monster from the grave if he has a Red Eyes monster on the field. If this card is destroyed by card effects, Joey can also special summon a Red Eyes monster from his graveyard as a parting gift. That just leaves us with 2 remaining traps. In the old days, Joey used to power up his beast monsters with Kunai with Chain. However, we're going to say that he upgraded this card to Red Eyes Fang with Chain, which allows an equipped Red Eyes monster to make 2 attacks per battle phase. Once this card is equipped, it can be sent to the graveyard in order to equip an effect monster on the other side of the field to its original target, whose attack and defense becomes equal to the new monster's original stats. And last but not least, we'll let Joey keep his Trap Hole with Spikes card, because this is just an all-around useful trap. You know, as long as he doesn't have Jinzo on the field or anything. When his opponent summons an enemy monster, Joey can use this card to destroy that monster and deal half of its original attack as damage back to the owner. And that'll about do it for the 40-card main deck. And for those of you doing the math, I actually counted this time. Yes, it's 40 cards. The side deck is where we're going to see a lot of Joey's non-Red Eyes archetype monsters. For example, we have both Guilford the Lightning and Guilford the Legend, high-level monsters that must be tribute summoned, but whose powerful effects probably make up for it. The Legend can equip spell cards from the graveyard onto warrior-type monsters, while the Lightning can destroy all enemy monsters if 3 monsters were used as part of its tribute summoning. Then we've got the Gearfried cards. Even though we've already upgraded Gearfried the Iron Knight to its Red Eyes counterpart, we're still going to include it here, in part so that it can be used to summon Gearfried the Swordmaster, which still requires the Release Restraint spell card. Immortal Phoenix Gearfried can be special summoned by banishing an equipped spell from the graveyard. During the damage step, Joey can equip any face-up monster on the field to this card in order to boost its attack by 500. It can also detach that monster as a quick effect in order to negate an enemy monster's effect and destroy that enemy monster. The next 2 monsters we'll be including for their prevalence during the Duel Monsters era and for their fusion potential: the original Baby Dragon and Alligator Sword. Really not much more to say here than that. And because I still think Joey has a soft spot for his friend Tristan, I like to think that he kept on playing his Swamp and Lava Battle Guard cards, even though they were never really seen again after their first appearance. Plus, we're going to add in Battle Guard King, who can tribute warrior monsters in order to gain extra attacks during the battle phase of that turn. And to round out the side deck, we have several equipped spells for the Gearfried and Guilford monsters to take advantage of. Assault Armor powers up a warrior monster by 300 attack points, and can be tributed to give the equipped monster 2 attacks for a single battle phase. Axe of Despair boosts a monster's attack points by 1000, and can be put on top of the deck instead of being sent to the graveyard by tributing 1 monster. Archfiend's Staff of Despair halves the attack points of all enemy monsters, and can be returned to the hand instead of being destroyed by paying 1000 life points. And Double-Edged Sword feels very much like a Joey card, as it boosts a monster's attack points by 2000, but deals any battle damage to both players rather than just the opponent. High risk, high reward. Very much fitting his style. Alrighty, we're in the home stretch. On to the fusion deck, and it's not even a full fusion deck. Returning from the old days are Alligator Sword Dragon and Thousand Dragon, both of whom are summoned by fusing Baby Dragon with another monster like Alligator Sword or Time Wizard. And speaking of Time Wizard, the Time Wizard of Tomorrow is summoned by fusing Time Wizard with any other effect monster. Its effect destroys all monsters on the field and inflicts half of their attack points as damage to the loser of a coin toss. Like I said, this guy likes high risk and high reward. Guilty Gearfried the Magical Steel Knight is summoned by fusing 2 warrior monsters with different attributes. When targeted by a card effect, it can negate that effect and destroy 1 card on the field. If both of its fusion materials were on the field when it was summoned, it can attack twice during each turn. And, once per turn, when it attacks an enemy monster, Joey can banish a spell card from the grave in order to add half of Guilty Gearfried's defense points to its attack points. And of course, that just leaves us with the dragons. First of the dragons requires 2 normal monsters to be summoned, and cannot be destroyed by battle except with another non-effect monster. It's also unaffected by effect monsters' card effects. Try saying that 3 times fast, it's really hard. During Duelist Kingdom, we saw Yugi and Joey tag team to summon Black Skull Dragon using Red Eyes Black Dragon and Summoned Skull. We're going to have Joey run an upgraded version of that card, the Archfiend Black Skull Dragon, who Joey would summon by fusing Red Eyes Black Dragon and Red Eyes Archfiend of Lightning before its Gemini summoning effect kicks in. When this monster battles, Joey's opponent cannot activate card effects until the end of the damage step. If damage calculation occurs, Joey can summon a normal Red Eyes monster from the graveyard, and its attack points are used as damage to the opponent. Meteor Black Comet Dragon can be summoned by using a level 7 Red Eyes and a level 6 Dragon, which in this deck would be Meteor Dragon Red Eyes Impact. When it's fusion summoned, it can send a Red Eyes monster from the hand or deck to the grave and inflict damage equal to half of its attack points to the opponent. When it's sent to the grave, Joey can special summon a normal monster in the graveyard. And last, but certainly not least, we have Red Eyes Slash Dragon, which can be fusion summoned with Red Eyes Black Dragon and any warrior type monster. When a Red Eyes monster declares an attack, Joey can equip a warrior monster in the graveyard to this card, boosting its attack by 200. That warrior can be returned to the grave in order to negate an opponent's activated card effect and destroy the card in question. When this card is destroyed, the owner can special summon as many monsters that had been equipped to it as possible from the grave. Along with Red Eyes Darkness Dragon and Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, this card would serve as Joey's signature boss monster during high-intensity duels. And personally, I like to believe that he brings it out by combining Red Eyes with Gearfried Red Eyes, but that's just me. There are certainly other ways to bring it out. But yeah, that wraps out this GX era deck profile for everyone's favorite Brooklyn Rager. Like I said in the GX Yugi video, I'd probably include Red Eyes Dark Dragoon in one of the unused fusion deck slots for situations where Joey gets to tag team with his best buddy. But yeah, what do you guys think? Are there any cards I should have included that I skipped over? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this kind of video, let me know what other characters you'd like to see new deck profiles for. Hit the subscribe button so you get to see new videos as soon as they come out, and feel free to hit me up on Twitter and on Reddit. Everybody stay safe and stay healthy, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye!